put your why first.
And what about, yeah, the why is crucial. And what about this concept of money manifestation? And there's a book, I don't know if you've read it, it's called Happy Pocket Full of Money. And it basically just talks about, and it's almost counterintuitive to most financial books that I've read. It almost talks about outliving your means and raising your perceived value, which is going to help you, in a sense, via energy, generate more income. Do you believe in that type of thinking?
I am 100% all about energy. I think what you bring to the table is what you get, but I don't believe it in a material world. And a lot of people use material as worth, whereas I think that raising your lifestyle, raising your vibration comes from an internal self-worth feeling. You can be in a Lamborghini and like I know the quote of like, oh, I'd rather cry in my Lamborghini, but if you go through different millionaires, they wish they had more internal peace, internal love. And I think that's how you start manifesting money is like feeling worthy, not living like you're worthy because that's a waste of money, but feeling like you're worthy of it within. And that's like when I shifted my mind, and we'll talk about the 75 hard, like going through that 75 hard challenge that I've been on is like what made me realize that I do things out of love now, and everything I feel is this like my heart is open, so things are just coming in nonstop, accepting because I'm giving open. So I don't know if that answers the question, but I don't think that material world is going to,
Very,
don't fake it till you make it. Just be it.
very interesting. And yeah, I definitely want to talk about the 75 hard. And yeah, so, and we talked about this when we had a couple Zoom calls last week of like the place that I live now it's like I can afford it. It's expensive, but I can afford it. Like, could I cut my expenses to live in a cheaper place? Yes. But I walked into this place that I live and I just felt abundance, right? There's tons of light. It's clean. It feels good. It feels like a good working space. So for me, I'm willing to pay more money to live in an abundant space. And I'm willing to pay more money for things like ease, because I think it helps me from a creative standpoint. What are your thoughts on that? And I don't even know if that's really a question or not, but just continuing the discussion.
No, I think environment absolutely shapes how we are able to like work and create and things like that. So if you, as you said, like, yes, it's a little more expensive, but you can afford it. You're not putting yourself out in order to have. So that's like the first step too. It's just like make sure that you have put it into your budget, especially a lot of people that are starting their journey, they're struggling and people don't watch where they put their money. And a lot of times like that'll put you in a hole faster than anything else. If you can afford it, if it's going to increase the long term or impact your long term, I'd say do it. So
It's very interesting. Yeah, because I read, and we're getting off track here, but I'll dial back in. We got a couple questions. I read these two books. One of them, so I read the book that is that I just talked about, that the name is escaping me, about money manifestation, and then I read another book about the millionaire next door, which talks about like saving all your money and putting all of your money away and things. So it was interesting to read two books. One book that basically says like live an elaborate lifestyle because it will attract more money to you. The other one said like live frugally because you'll be able to save money and then actually have more money. So what I learned from reading those two books back to back was like there is no answer. The money question, there is no answer. It's like do what you do that makes you happy and intertwine money into that as well. But I think the most important thing is financial education, because I think a lot of people don't educate themselves financially and they don't understand the power of leveraging something like debt, and how to actually save money effectively and how to invest in things properly. Because guess what? It's not that fun to sit down and read a 500-page book on finance. It's really not. But I've read a lot of those books because it's important stuff to learn, right? And I think like if you educate yourself from a financial perspective, you're in a much better position to make decisions And as a business owner, you better understand the financial perspective of a business, because the core foundation of your business is finances. If you don't know anything about finances and you're running a business, you could think that you're crushing it. You're crushing it. You have all this money coming in. Next thing you know, you're insolvent and you don't have a business. So I think I just wanted to plug the importance of financial education, and then we'll hit another question.
I do have something to add to that as you're doing that. So
Yeah, go ahead.
one of the models that I absolutely agree with, I learned it through like neurolinguistic programming, which is like what I was like certified in for life coaching. There's a current state of being that you're in, and there's a desired state that you want to get to. There's a gap in between, and like a lot of business owners struggle with it, where they're stuck in this current state with their like perpetual habits and behaviors and stuff like that. You have to realize what habits and behaviors that you have that are keeping you in this low vibration. And if you're at this high vibration that you want to become, every day you have to work on becoming that next, like becoming that person. So show up as the person. So it's not just be like, the reason you're in that apartment is because you want to be that person.
Right.
But you're not faking it, because you're actually doing the work for yourself. You're doing what you need to do. You're building as you're learning, you're growing as you're learning. Whereas you can't step into a role if you're not doing anything to be the person that you're becoming. So know where you are, know where you want to be, and every single day wake up and try to be that version of yourself.